Welcome! What's up, everybody? Welcome to NFT ART TALK. We're here live on a Saturday morning. We're so excited to be here with you guys. Welcome to our community. We're here to celebrate art and accept all. We're so excited to have Vasuvian in the house today with us. You can join us live daily for a new way to experience the NFT art scene here on YouTube, where we basically spend our time talking about what we're doing, the art and artists that inspire us, and some hot topics related to NFTs, art, music, fashion, and culture. Our primary focus here, everybody, as you know, is to have some fun, and man, is it going to be fun today. We cannot wait. Today, on our special weekend episode, as you can see on your screen, we have Vasuvian, an amazing artist that we've met through Twitter, honestly, and have just the pleasure of bringing on here to talk about his art, his inspiration, some collabs, and you guys, he's going to announce a new special collab here on air for you towards the end of the show. So make sure you stick around the whole video. We're going to be kicking it. Also, we're going to ask everyone today, get active in the live chat. If you have questions, hit us up. We'll be paying attention to that. So, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. That's right below you. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and then push that little notification bell so that you always know when we're live, even on the weekends. And make sure to follow everybody here that you see in front of you on Twitter. Everybody's link is down below us in the description. I know all of us are active on DMs. We were all laughing about how we were in spaces till like 4 a.m. last night, so we are available in here for that too. So make sure you get with us. So, without further ado, my name is Moshe, aka DJ Fetus. You know Karthik NFT in all the places. Let us introduce you to Vasuvian here hanging out with us. What's up, guys? What's up?
What's up, man? I'm really happy to be here. It's a wonderful day in the South in Clarksville, Tennessee, right next to Fort Campbell Air Base. No, I'm not in the military, and I don't plan to be, but I'm still having fun listening to all the planes go by and trucks go by. No, none of those never happen. I'm way away from that base.
Oh, man. Wait, that's right near Nashville, right?
Yeah, it's literally about, from downtown Nashville, it's about 40-45 minutes away. But, I mean, I grew up in the Nashville area. I mean,
all right.
Yeah, I grew up in Nashville for almost 20 years. 20 years ago, I moved over here in Nashville. So, yeah, it's like my second hometown. Actually, the hometown. Because by now, I spend majority of my life in Nashville, in the U.S. So, yeah, man.
That is so. I don't think I realized that. That's really cool. I've spent so much time in Nashville. I grew up on the East Coast. Yeah, I grew up in South Carolina. And Karthik and I both live in Texas, but I worked in country music for so many years. So I used to go to Nashville all the time, dude. All the time.
You don't even have a southern accent, man.
Yeah, no.
Most of Southeast.
Yeah, so. I'm kind of Southeast, and my family doesn't have accents. Well, like my grandmother and stuff does, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, I grew up outside. I mean, I came over here. I wasn't born here. I moved here like 20 something years back. So,
where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Bangladesh. I thought you knew that, man. I've been talking about it all over the spaces.
Well, the people want to hear it out here, man. You know,
Okay.
With the new audience.
I get it. We got a new set of audience. So, hi, fam.
Yes, welcome.
Here all the way flying out from Vasuvia. Anyways. But yeah, man, I moved here like 20 something years back. And so basically, just like a lot of fams out there, I wasn't born in the US. So this accent that I have, it's learned, man. I mean, it's like sometimes it's like a lot of Daisies who are not born, or anyone, whether you're Puerto Rican or Mexican American or whatever, if you get to that point where you feel like, you're about to doze off or something, I'm not going to get into other stuff like drinking stuff because there might be kids listening. I got kids in the fam. that accent just goes away, man. It's like, who are you? Where did you come from? It's like a whole other world with us, you know. But yeah, man, it's all good, man. I'm vibing and jiving over here in Clarksville, Tennessee. Love it. I've been in the Nashville for over 20 years. Moved here like 2000, 2001. So yeah, it's been a blessing, man, with all the experiences I've had so far.
Man, that is so cool. Yeah, I love Nashville. Like, I've had amazing experiences there. I've been, and I have like very close friends that are like family that live there. So if next time I'm in the area, definitely hitting you
Come
up
on in,
though.
man. Yeah,
Definitely
yeah, yeah,
hitting you
yeah,
up.
for sure, man.
Looking for all
We
sorts
got
of
our own
vibes.
cave, by the way. We got our own cave, by the way, in Clarksville. You don't even have to go to a place like Mammoth Cave or anything.
All right.
So Clarksville
cool.
has its own Bat Cave.
All right. All
Get into our
right.
Batmobile and everything. Yeah.
uh, well, hey, so obviously we met you through the art scene, and before we like dive into everything that you have going on, you know, we thought that we could spend maybe a little bit of time, yeah, continuing to get to know you. I know we've had the opportunity to hear you a little bit, but you know, I think like as a personal note, I was just really inspired because from a lot of the stuff that you have online and a lot of the stuff that you've talked about. Honestly, I've only been in maybe one or two spaces with you to hear your whole story. So, but I think like just the way that you're connecting into the energy and kind of bringing goodwill and focused on that was something that I thought was really cool. And but anyways, I was hoping you could just tell us like what inspires you and what like where your art comes from. A little bit about your art is really what we're interested in.
Uh, sure, man. I think I don't even know where it actually comes from. It just does. Like a lot of people talk about it as new age. A lot of people don't like using that word. For me, it's just being part of the awakening process. To put it simple, with everyone, you know. But it as an artist, I would kind of jive with a lot of artists out there, whether you're into music or art or film or whatever. We usually channel our emotions into what we do. That's part of it. Yes, I mean that obviously always is part of it. Like when I sit down with my guitar, if I'm going through some emotional stuff, whether it's happy or something that I'm reflecting on, you know, the song just come along. But aside from that, it's part of the awakening in the sense that I've been able to get in some track down some information, I guess, channeled through me from somewhere that I'm still investigating and trying to understand myself. And you know, you can listen to my kids. Sometimes it's coming from them as well, shouting in the background like monkeys they are. But that's part of life. I just go into my corner and try to deal with it. You know, I got a closet of my own, and it's gonna sound funny. In my bathroom in my new house, that was supposed to be my office. I just creeped out like 3:30 at night. The light just went off. I said, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna stay out right here, do my thing."
Dude,
but yeah.
I have to relate to you just for 1 second. I don't want to interrupt you, but literally, like, I'm gonna call myself out again. Like 3 episodes ago on this show live, my kid came running in and started screaming and like grabbing the chair, and I had to mute myself real fast, and I did not turn the mute back on. So for like 5 to 10 minutes of the episode, it's just me like just like talking and all excited with
Real
no
time.
sound, dude. Because the
Man,
kid,
I just
the kid's
gave
running
up,
in, the
man.
dog's puking. It's like, dude, what is going on, dude?
I got a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old, man. I just gave up, you know. I just said, you know, deal with it. That's my life. You can only do so much. But yeah, man, I stopped doing art actually literally about 20 years back. Back in 2000 or 2001, I used to do small arts and watercolor paints when I was a kid, like 7 or 8 years of age, and then every now and then I would doodle, you know, stuff, and then it stopped for a few years, several years. Then in around 1999 or 2000, I just felt like taking it up as a hobby. I've been an introvert. It doesn't seem like nowadays because I guess it's probably the age, man, or the way the Twitter Spaces work. It just opens you up. So I opened up a lot more than usual. But even now and then, if I'm like in a work meeting or something, I usually stay quiet. I'm more of a listener and don't talk a lot unless really necessary for me. But so I started with art back in 2000 ish, and then just stopped, because I started leaning towards music because I come. Uh, that's part of it because I come from a musical family. A lot of Desis do. We call Desis mean anyone who's from the South Asian community, whether it's India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. So we're always into music. A majority of the family members are somehow linked into music. Either they're singing, they're in the TV, in the radio, or just as a community singer. So that's how I kind of got it. My mother is a TV singer. She still sings from time to time in Bangladesh. She's visiting there. She's going to be coming back with my dad in a few months. And so it came from there. So I started listening to music, starting getting into music. They got me into the tabla. I don't know if you know that. Karthik might know.
Of
Yeah, the
course,
drums.
of
Yeah,
course,
yeah, we
both
know.
of
Yeah,
us do.
yeah.
Yeah, of
So
course.
so I started off with that. I didn't even start with singing or whatever. I was into listening music like a lot of fam. And it was back in 92 when it all started, and I didn't even want to play, and then something kicked into me. I don't know why. It was probably the rhythm that the ustad, I call him an ustad. He in South Asian community, there are two types of tabla players. One is ustads, or your teachers or gurus who you learn from, or there are others who people play with. Like if there are singers in the community, there are tabla players who would come and help you out with your song and singing and whatnot. So he was kind of like that with my family, with my mother. He played several years back, probably I think in the TV or radios, and they kind of connected. And that's how they introduced me into tabla. And I first of all neglected being the kid I was back in early 90s. And then all of a sudden something kicked into me. I feel like I want to play. So it started with that. And then in 2000 with singing and all, and getting into music, it kind of felt like I wanted to do, but I think I wasn't focused right. I was focusing more into marketing and just like any newcomers do, sales and marketing. I think this is a good way for me to use my passion to make some money. And that's what I was focused into. And then I decided, no, that's not what I want to do because that's exactly what I didn't really want to do from my heart. And so it stopped. It got put aside. I was still doing stuff like the Janoon project and others. I kept striving, working hard to make something, but I already had a day job. So I guess that was part of it. I wasn't struggling enough like a lot of artists. So I was able to put it aside and do my other things. With the art, it was a different story. So I told you it was part of an awakening process. And I had some experiences, whether it's having to do with some downtime in life, it was part of it, but also some spiritual experiences. From my mother's side, I come from a long line of mystics and Sufis, and probably I got it from there. I don't know, uh, but I had these interesting experiences in my life. I'm opening up in the show. Hopefully, they're not going to be listening to it because they're going to, fire up and everything and start calling me on the phone or whatever. No, it's probably not going to happen because I'm talking about parallel lives and past lives and whatever. That's not a thing. But it happened. I started learning or feeling that I just didn't feel at home, man. I mean, even when I was a kid, I would always look at the stars as if I'm just waiting to be picked up. It felt like a lost soul on Earth. And went through the videos, I went through YouTube and all. I had the religious perspectives being from a Muslim background. I checked through the books and then I looked to the YouTube. Still didn't work out because even to this day, I try to feel grounded, but I just can't. I just feel like, my time is somewhere else. I was talking about it and to another friend. And then these things started happening about 2016, 2018, where I had some experiences. And some call it contact experiences, some may call it spiritual experiences, but I did have some sort of contact. A lot of people cannot explain it. If I try to get too much into details, some people would relate, some people will not, but just leave it to the simple fact that it was a contact experience of some sort, and several through sleep. Things started up as if there were sleep paralysis, and then the more I learned and learned about it and experiencing it and trying to jive with it, so to speak, for lack of better words, everything went smooth. Um, I would have visitations during my sleep time, and I would feel there would be beings coming in, uh, and I would use the word beings very lightly, and to keep it as simple. I don't want to say aliens. I don't want to say jinns. I don't want to say angels. Whatever anyone in the community want to believe it, you take it because it's part of your own perspective and reflection or your own understanding. But there were beings, made contact. In my dreams, I also had instances where they were trying to heal me, even from my kids shouting in the background, as always. Uh, Sorry about that. And so that's
No
where
apologies needed here, brother.
Yeah, man, it's all good.
my family in the spaces, they know about it in Twitter because they hear them every now and then while I'm talking. They're just jumping around shouting. But that's how the art started coming in. All of a sudden, I felt like I need to do something on paper. So I had my iPad, and I started drawing and doodling. First, it started with geometric shapes, and then it started with writing stuff that looked like either they could be hieroglyphics, they could be Arabic, they could be Sanskrit, they could be Latin. Some people also still look at it and they still get still confused. They say, okay, it looks one of those, and it also doesn't look something similar. And then some other interesting things started happening. I started speaking, and words that a lot of people could relate to, and a lot of people say it sounds very familiar, but then again, it doesn't sound what you're talking. And it kind of started like that, and all of a sudden, I got into the art, and I started talking about it, opening up spaces on Meetup, uh, and I wasn't necessarily trying to make money out of it because I was paying the money to actually learn or know about what people are thinking. Are there others out there? Which I found that definitely there's hundreds and thousands of people who are going through the same experiences. And we kind of talked about Ed from an artistic perspective, but also from a spiritual and other perspectives. And never thought about getting the NFT art space until October and November. I decided after watching videos from Gary Vee, and I figured maybe this is the moment I was kind of waiting for at one of those. It felt like I could bring in my music, my entertainment, my videos, my art, whatever you name it, everything can be included in this NFT space. And that's how it started. But even then, it was all about, initially was about, okay, this is an opportunity to have some financial freedom, even though I already had a good job and a decent pay, a growth for financial ways. And then it kind of didn't feel right. I just felt like there's got to be more to that. And then after speaking to spaces and looking to myself, it felt like I felt like I need to be able to share more. And that's how I started getting involved into more spaces. And you'll see a lot of the times I don't even talk about selling anymore because that's not the thing. The art is more like a byproduct for me. It's about making connections. And now when I talk about art or collaborating with people, I'm back to what I was doing initially. What I wanted to be focused on is sharing the information I'm getting, wherever it's coming from. Trying to relate to people, bringing out the stories, and realizing the fact and helping people realize the fact that we're all one and the same. We're going through this own experience from an individual perspective and from a collective perspective. That's what it is, man. That's how it started.
Dude, we totally.
I
get
can't.
that.
I've yeah. Go Karthik, go.
Like,
Just,
I feel the cosmic unity in a lot of your artwork, and I totally understand what you're saying when you're saying. I remember looking up at the stars as a kid being like, I think I'm from there, I'm just temporarily here kind of thing, right? And you're trying to explain that your whole life, right? But I think like you exactly understood, like once you see it in the art and it's a flow through of what you're feeling and what you're living, right? You start exemplifying this picture in your mind that might be another reality, that might be even more reality than this reality.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Secondly, I understand with the flow through, me and Motion always played with a band, right? So we almost would always rock out and jam out. And a lot of times we'd be like, man, I don't know where that came from, but it was flowing together in a unified way with the whole band. So even when you're talking about the flow through, I totally understand it, because it is like coming from somewhere, but maybe that's just a part of you that's bigger than your physical, right? And you're just exemplifying it through the art, because the art unifies people and creates things in their minds and opens up dimensions that you cannot do with just talking or just, you know, basic ways of communication. Like the art, the music is a universal language. So I totally understand where you're coming from, like in the sense of how you're explaining it, right, through my own perspective. But I truly get how your art is influenced by like the cosmic, supernatural, or just the spiritual, man. You know.
And were you born here, Karthik, or you were born in India?
I was born here, man, in Texas,
okay.
San Antonio. Yeah.
But you get the point, man. If you come, because you're a grown-up guy like me, you know, and our parents are still in the traditional faith. Doesn't matter if you're born here or not. So for me, forget about all these stuff, man. Forget about past parallel lives or whatever.
Right.
First thing and foremost, why I got interested into music. So back at 10, 12 years back, I was planning to get signed up with a record label. I just visited there. I was working on bringing my first album out in Bengali. And people loved it. They wanted me to stay there. I was just visiting there, you know, because I already settled there. They said, you know, this music is something that we're looking for, because the rest of them, they call it, what is the right call? It's in India, it's called item songs in Desi terms. That means, you know, it's all about, not necessarily about public, but it's all about marketing and all whatnot. It's the type of music you do to sell, basically.
Right.
So they told me, you know, that's not what you have. It's something we're looking for. You know, it's clean music. But even that, man, this is music. I'm not talking about religion or anything, man.
Right.
My family members, a lot of them, God bless their soul, you know, they're all good people, because, you know, everyone has their own mindset based on tradition and culture. They grew up with that, so we cannot complain anything about it. But they were freaking out about the fact that I was even trying to get into music. Why is this kid trying to get into music? He's going to get into drugs and alcohol and all this stuff. You know, the next thing you know, he's in the street, you know, being a pot kid and whatever. I was like, what? So I being the kid I was back then, I said, you know, and I'm not even a kid. This is 2005-ish. I'm a, you know, grown-up kid in my 20s, early 20s. I said, forget about that. I'm not going to go through that. I have other things to do. So I just shut myself down. Said, I'm not going to deal with music in that way anymore. That's not what I want to go. Maybe it was a good reason, man. I mean, because there's a reason and moment, and, you know, for everything to happen. So I realized that I don't take it as a mistake. I keep on telling people every single time I talk to them nowadays. And I change it. If I say on my Twitter profile, I think at some place I still use the word mistakes. I say I'm forgetting about it. Everything we do are basically, I'm paraphrasing, are experiences, and experiences are part of an everlasting gain of understanding and betterment of those that exist. So I don't talk about mistakes anymore. Everything in life is just a mere experiences we're going through. And we keep going, you know, based on the experiences we have. Nothing is a mistake. Nothing should be taken as a mistake. I was supposed to start, I always had a passion in college to go into designing. Because of the space thing again, I wanted to in aerospace. I ended up in mechanical and thermodynamics. I just gave up all that in engineering, because, you know, all the days, all of us, we're trained to go into science, nothing else. That's how it is, as always. Even a lot of people don't know about it. I've got African friends from Nigeria and others. Some of their parents are just like that. Engineering, science, or business. They're big time. Nothing else. You can't get into sports or anything else, or singing or whatever. So I grew up like that, and I ended up in something else. But my dad kept on saying, "Don't worry about it. You know, you started here, but just believe in the fact that whatever you're doing is still usable. Somewhere or another, you're gonna be able to use it, and it's part of your growing experience." And I still believe it today. You know, whatever I'm going through, I ended up as an analyst for my day job in computer for healthcare. And I still believe that, you know, there's a purpose for everything. So never think about the fact that, you know, whatever you're doing is gonna go down the drain, your life is go down the drain. It's part of a continuing, you know, experience.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I also really relate to your story, and I guess it's kind of in addition to what Karthik was saying. Uh, you know, it's like that at that moment where you decided, like, okay, I think I'm being a vessel right now. I have something I have to get out, and then you just started doing it just to learn it. And I think a lot of artists can be inspired by that, and including us. And I think artists too can relate to that. Like we can relate to that, like crazy times in our career where, like, we just had some sort of like vision almost. I don't know what I want to call it. I'm not going to label it, but it did kind of give us foresight to keep going, you know? Like the most notable one that Karthik and I talk about all the time, we played this massive festival as a band, and it was a goal of ours for a long time, but like leading up to that, we were like we already knew what was going to happen, you know? Like there was no doubt. Like I had like seen it, like I'd seen myself on the stage, you know? I know that's probably different than what you're talking about in ways, but like my point
No,
it's like
It's a
it's
vision,
related,
yeah.
man.
it's the
Totally related.
manifestation. That's what it is, you know?
Check out my buddy, my homie, Strange Curry. We are not in a lot of contact. It's very strange though. I lived in Bellevue in next to Nashville, in West Nashville, for almost 20 years. His shows used to be somewhere else. Weird enough, I moved to Clarksville, and there's an Indian restaurant that popped up right next to my old apartment, and now that's like his go-to place to get music. Just figure it out. Go figure, man. No, I mean he's right next to my old house right now. I'm like, dude, what were you doing all this time? But check out his YouTube, man. You don't see a lot of views. It's like 20, 30 views, 40 views, 50 views. This guy is still going on. Doesn't matter to him.
Yeah.
He figured it out. You know, you don't worry about what others are thinking or whatever. Someday, sometime in the future, they will. If they don't go with it, that's fine. Those 15, 20 people are viewing. They're gonna talk about it to others. If they don't come to YouTube or somewhere else, they probably go and you know, personally visit their shows in Nashville or wherever they're playing, and that's it. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But you don't give up. You
No.
never give up. You know,
Right.
people think about it. You could consciously or physically think about the fact that I'm gonna give up. Your soul will never give up. You're still probably gonna be in a subway train somewhere, listening to music, and in your head you're babbling. Okay, I dig it. I'm gonna keep on going. I love this music. You might not be saying it out loud. You're still gonna be playing guitar somewhere in dreamland or whatever, you know. Or one day it just pops out. You buy a guitar, waiting after 2 weeks, and just start jamming on it. But you don't give up. You think about it. Never happens. Life keeps on going. You keep on going. You keep on overcoming bridges.
Hey, you know, yes, and that's what we're all here to do. You know, actually, we're getting some questions in the chat. I want to do a couple quick shout outs here. What's up, Jesse? Jesse with the androids says what's up to you, Vasuvian. D-Hawk, Wormy Worm up in here. Chris Krishna hanging out. Fab, what's up? Sarthik, thank you for coming to hang out. We do actually have a couple questions for you, Vasuvian. So
Sure.
let me get to. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Sarthik. I'm not gonna try for the last.
Sartak?
Sartak.
Shoudery.
Shoudery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's up, man?
All right, cool. You
He's
know.
a new
Okay.
kid on the block. Yeah.
All right. He wants to know what your day job is. Now that we're doxing ourselves on YouTube.
Top secret. No.
It can stay top secret.
No, I work for the public healthcare sector for the state of Tennessee. So I'm an analyst in healthcare.
Cool.
Hopefully that's not gonna be the case in the next few years.
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
trying to flip. You know.
NFT art is gonna blow up, and then you're gonna be
Yeah.
like just living the life doing that.
Totally hoping I can tell my wife, I told you,
Yeah.
this happened. We became billionaires.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, go figure. Maybe another life.
Well, I know that right now it feels to me, as whatever level we are here together in this community, that like, man, you have so many good things coming for you. Like, your mindset is on point, and now, like you just said, like, you're taking these steps. You've talked yourself into it. You're doing it, and it's not just like you just started. I don't want it to sound like that. You've been doing it for a long time, but this crossover that it sounds like you're talking about, where you motivated yourself to get out there, get in the spaces, do the art, do all this stuff, and just not take no for an answer. And I think as creators, we really relate to that. And at least in Karthik and I's life, as a similar, we have so many similarities in our stories, both of us, all three of us. It does feel good, and there is success. But so also, Fab is wondering, what projects are you?
What's up, Fab?
Fab is wondering what projects are you bullish on, which is a perfect segue into the next section of this interview.
I gotta talk about this guy.
Okay, because I love Fab too, so let's go. We can have some Fab stories real quick.
I call him Chris Pratt of the NFT space. I don't know if you guys have ever heard him do his special pitch. I was sold the first time I heard about it. He came to one of my only 2 episodes of Spaces I did on Chilling, and I couldn't bear it. I don't know how Bob and the others go for hours. We did for 7 hours, and they say, we're done. We're never going to do this. It's just too much. but I gotta say some respect to Fab. He's coming up with some wonderful projects, but he did this pitch. I mean, he sounded exactly like Chris Pratt, and his project, if you check, it's called Quill, which sounds like Quill from Guardians of the Galaxy, the character. I was like, dude, are you sure you're not Chris Pratt? I even tagged Chris Pratt in one of the comments and said, I think we had Chris Pratt show up. But yeah, I love this man. I call him the Chris Pratt of the NFC space. And I love the question, man. Go ahead and ask. I was busy, shilling him in the space. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, that is a project that we're both bullish on right now. So
we have to get him on the show.
I know we actually do now. Yeah. We showed off his androids on a show earlier, just because like he's such an awesome, like, on top of being an awesome artist, he's incredibly supportive, dude. Like, he is all, like, of us and all these other artists, and his whole crew is. It's like, and he's doing this awesome custom stuff, and so we're definitely bullish on you. But yeah, let me dive into a little. I'm gonna share some screens so you guys also, so that you guys can hear this awesome music I've been listening to in the background the whole time that we've been talking.
That's a pretty cool collage, man. Is that an art, or you just came up with it somewhere?
Yeah, this is actually Karthik and I. This was our first ever like digital art project. It has 10,000 layers. It's part of an album that we dropped called Only.
You could make an NFT out of it, man, and make it to an album, whatever, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, so what we're thinking, this is a little bit of a sneak peek. This is we're not quite there with this being it, but you can see all the people in the crowd at the show. Those could all be NFTs, and like with all these, anyways, we have lots of ideas, but I want to get into your stuff because we're here to talk about you. And we'll talk about it. I'd love to talk about us later. So we wanted to obviously start with your Twitter, because this is where we met you. And for everybody that's here chilling with us, if you don't follow this Vasuvian, I almost said this man, but there's so much more than that. You should be, like you said, he's always in spaces and stuff. All the links for him are just down below in the description. But we thought maybe you could take us on a tour. We pulled up your Koji.
Sure, man. I started off. That public is really getting to me. It's like speeding on my brain. That's a pretty neat music.
Yeah, that's you. This is all of your This is on your track list, which you can everyone, if you want, go to his Koji, which is down below, and click Spotify.
Yeah.
If
I created a playlist of some music that some of my own music and some I like to listen to. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. That's a pretty neat list. Thanks for sharing that.
yeah,
But for the Koji, the first one is Foundation. That was my first Foundation launch. It sold out. That's phase one of my collection. It's part of the story I was telling you guys about. I started learning about this uh, several years back, and decided to just bring it out in the public. I wasn't comfortable about talking about myself, um, and then it just happened. I just decided, after learning and being comfortable in different spaces, that it was the right moment to talk about it. It talks about Vesuvia and a journey that's about a planet being destroyed by people who did it out of anger or whatever, but they themselves are going through their own awakening process of coming out of insecurity, and being into the process of realizing that everyone is part of being one and the same. So that's how this all started. And I'm working on phase two right now.
do you have music? Is
But
there music on it? Oh, there
yeah,
is.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can play it, but it gets really loud and we can't talk. Can I play it real quick?
yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
man.
Just cause like, of course you have music. Man, I remember we were looking at this kind of in anticipation of you coming on, and I personally, I just love the colors and this little, like, the glyph thing you got going, whatever that language is back there, various, or symbols, it looks like a language to me, but
So a lot of people might freak out on the. Can you turn the music on my? I'm sorry, man. It's just me. It's not you. I sometimes have trouble multitasking.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, no
Just
it,
jamming
it
problem,
out to
ain't
the
you, man.
music.
no
Yeah.
problem, no problem
Um,
at all.
but let me and yeah, it sounds weird because that is my music playing in the background. Go figure.
But don't worry, I've been playing it this whole episode. So the first 30 minutes, you gave us our soundtrack, and now we just want to talk to you about your stuff. So don't feel bad at all, man.
It's all good, man.
Yeah.
So that story, that second one is actually the journey, where and now you're on Rebirth. So the
Okay, I'm
first
sorry.
one shows, if you start with the first one, you'll see a planet being attacked, and you can read through the description. And it's like an introduction to what's coming about this whole story about Vesuvia, where I found out about it from my experiences of awakening, and also after I did some regression therapies, uh, and learned about more about a life that I've been or connected to a life in a planet in a different star system which was destroyed. And the weirdest thing is, it started off as a story. I was telling story to my kids even before COVID. This is back in 2019. I think I started telling them in October something. I was very sick at that time with my one of my personal illnesses that I'm still going through, and planning to get checked up again next week. Um, and I don't like talking too much about it because I try to stay positive. But cutting it short, I started telling the story about Vesuvia, about a planet in the Vega star system near the Lyran constellation, because I kind of relate to that somehow. That's one of the points I'm always pointing myself towards. And someone pointed out to me part of it I didn't realize, and then I figured, oh my God, I really feel the vibe from there. So I started telling them story about this purple planet uh, called Vesuvia, where it was destroyed by these beings who attacked for materials and everything. And everyone can relate to this, even on Earth. A lot of the countries they're attacking or going through war for colonization. It's all about minerals and stuff and everything. But it's all also part of the insecurity. Like everyone's thinking, we need to survive. We need to survive. Forget about others. But then at the end of this whole story, throughout this whole journey, even through the story I've been telling my kids, I figured out that myself as well. it's
Oh no, did he freeze?
I think it froze.
Oh no.
We could probably get him back in here. Do you want me to hit him up?
Yeah. This story is so tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, while we're doing that,
One
thank you guys all
second.
for hanging out. We'll get him back in here. We'll figure out what's going on. Thank you guys all for hanging out while you're here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to be doing these interviews with artists that inspire us as much as we can. Hopefully, we'll get Fab up in here soon. I'm going to get the music back going a little bit while we're figuring out what's popping with that. Y'all, this is Vasuvian's music. Again, you can go to his Koji, and when you're in his Koji, you will see you'll see that there's a link to Spotify, and I've basically been playing his Spotify link, but there's some really tight songs in here. So make sure that you check it out.
It's cool. The story he was kind of talking about that. It's kind of think it's relatable to everybody. Like, we're all here together. There's not a limited amount of resources, despite what everybody's telling, because there's always abundance around you. Just a mindset. And his vision of this artwork is just cool because it's like exemplary of that in a different artistic type of way.
Yeah, and just that there's so much more to it than just art. It's like a story. It's like he's telling his kids. He's lived it in his life, like whether it's this one or another.
It's like a part of him. Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, like it's cool, man. Like I didn't even know that until he started, really explaining, going in depth about it, in the interview. So,
but even then too, it's like, I even love this opportunity that we have as musicians now to be able to like tell more of the story than just a song, and to like add this art, and it just adds so much complexity to us as artists. I just think it's really cool. But yeah, I'm so grateful. It looks like he's coming back in.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm on here.
Cool.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what
Cool.
happened,
All
but
good.
it just gave us time to gush and tell people to like and subscribe. So thank you for coming back in. Here, we turn your music back on. Because we were like,
music was replacing you for a second.
yeah, we were like, hey, let's keep the music going. That's our vibe.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had an important discussion with my kid.
Hey, it's okay. I'm pretty sure I had a dog
Yes,
bark.
you're not
so.
a monkey. Yeah, you're not a monkey. Okay. Sorry about it. So I'm sorry about it. I don't know if it was me or you guys. Probably me. I think my Wi-Fi got disconnected.
It's
I just
okay,
switched
man.
to LT.
Like I said, we just took a moment
all
just to
good.
like talk about how grateful we are that you're here and how much we really enjoy the story behind your art and what you're doing. And I honestly, just that one, that you're sharing your story, and two, that it's this opportunity to learn. Like, we're really grateful for the opportunity to learn, because it's so much more than a picture or music or even the world that you're building. It's like, so thank you so much for sharing that. But anyways,
Hey,
that's
sure, man.
that's where we were.
No. It's all good, man. I mean, probably people got some time being curious. Oh, he got disconnected. Let's read into the descriptions.
Yes,
Finally,
please.
people wouldn't even want to go ahead and read it. So
Yes.
asking me, I keep on telling people every time. Someone was asking me yesterday, okay, how do we learn about you more? I said, go to my art, open your eyes up, look into them, read the description, and you'll know me. But it's funny. I had an exhibition right before COVID, actually in 2019, and I had one of my uncles. He's German, Bangladeshi, but you can literally say he's German. Like, he's been there for like 30 or 40 something years. You can't even tell if it's Bangladeshi. I mean, he sounds like a German, with all the syllables. Even when he speaks Bengali, it sounds like he's speaking German. But he was in the exhibition, and he was just having fun. I don't know. I mean, he got tired. We got tired. I sold some, but it wasn't closing the end of the day. And I think he felt like everyone was going bland. So some people started visiting my exhibition. He say, Go closer. And they were like, what? Say, go closer. Look into the art. See if you can find yourself in there. And I literally, but I didn't even know all this were going on. I was like doing something. I came and I say, do you have any questions? And I literally saw them going close to the art and looking into it. I said, do you have any questions? And they say, no, I'm just looking. I said, what are you looking for? They say, your uncle told us that you want us to look into the picture and find a meaning. I just shut up. I said, what did you tell them? Say they were just roaming around doing nothing. I feel like I need to put them to work. but yeah, man.
Your uncle sounds pretty funny, man.
Yeah, and tight. Like like we all need those influences in our life that like tell us to like, and like you were saying about your dad, like just people that say like go find what you need. Like you'll, as long as you're doing it, it won't be messed up. So
Never, man. Everything in life has a purpose and a reason for it to happen. I mean, this space itself, man. If who would have thought me coming into YouTube and doing this? I just met Karthik, and I'm gonna pronounce his name right. It's Karthik. That's how we say it.
It's the original way. Yeah, a lot of my friends here, I tell them to call me Karthik.
It's a Karthik. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I totally get it, man. So, I mean, forget about my original name, man. If they pronounce it so weirdly, with Vasuvian, I've now been called from Vasuvian to Vas to Vasu to Vasu or whatever, man. I said I just gave up, I said I'm just me. Just call whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm a different culture, but the same situation. And then I went and named myself DJ Fetus to like help people, and that even that in itself now, I'll never get away from it. But yeah, my name is Moshe. But so also I know you have some collections on Rarible and OpenSea. We have all the links down below. I didn't know if there was anything you wanted to talk about specifically.
The Rarible, you can go ahead, man. Go ahead, what you want to say, and then we'll talk about it.
Oh no! Talk about Rarible. That's what I was gonna say.
So yeah, so the Rarible are the only two that are left out. I was gonna do some. I call it whitelist. It's not necessarily a smart contract type of minting stuff, but it's basically a pre-sale for people, whoever ends up buying one of those two pieces out there that are left out. I mean, I don't too much focus on it. I just felt like it looks cool. I put it on a reasonable price. If people wants to get it. That's good. They end up getting some opportunities in the phase 2 as being one of the first to do it. But the Rarible piece, by the way, that's one of my favorite pieces. The one that you just pulled up, man.
I saw it. I had to pull it up.
Yeah. I'm not planning to sell it for 11 ETH. The only reason I put it at 11 ETH because I don't want to sell it. So, but it's a near and dear one. It's basically showing someone who's getting on a ship and just leaving, to wherever they came from. At least for me, it is. And the artist in there kind of felt like that, not feeling belonging to where you are and just going out there somewhere, that you can relate to. But with the Rarible pieces, if you pull up the one that looks kind of like a cat, the blue one, and you'll see a lot of my pictures when you pull them up. That one is actually from Princess, but yeah, that's a cool one too.
This one reminds me of Space Invader, but
maybe that's why I ended up picking that.
Yeah. Which one did you want to look at?
The one that says Cat Life or
okay.
Life Eternal.
Okay.
Yeah. And see, I've been put up in the description. It says whether we positively choose. I'll let you read it later on. Go ahead and play it.
You want to read it right now?
Yeah, you could read out. If you click read more, then.
You want to play that with music too?
Yeah, let me play it with the music. Let me play it with the music real quick.
even I get euphoric sometimes.
Dude, I can't. I can't, dude. I can't, dude. I can't. It is so good. It is so good.
So let me talk about the art before we get into the experience. So if you look closely, you're gonna see a constellation on the top, on the left hand, on the right hand corners. That's actually the Lyran constellation right there.
Okay.
Yeah. So before we get into more details about this particular one, this is one of those pieces, man. I'm actually not planning to draw a cat. I actually do my art and do my writings or whatever, however they come out, and do my shapes. And then when I animate them through my softwares, they just take the form of cats or something else. It just happens automatically. And a lot of people have been telling me, dude, you love a cat or something. All of your arts come up with cats in it. I said, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's like my spirit animal, whatever. I don't know. They keep on showing up in my art. But one of the process about the music I wanted to talk about. So the way I do this music, I use a software called Mutant. I learned about it, I think about a year or two ago, and it's pretty cool. It's a very, I'd say it's more like I kind of relate it. It's actually a cube, and you interact with the cube to make music. There's no buttons or anything. It's very cool. I would definitely ask everyone to check it out. That's one of the things that they have. They have, I think, some other apps. But when I make my music, man, I mean, I'm actually feel like I'm actually typing in a computer. So I'm writing stuff on my music board on my iPad on this app, and I'm doing shapes, and that's how all this music gets generated. I'm not actually pre-planned. I'm planning to say, okay, this is where the A chord is, or this is where the D sharp is, or D minor. It's just like on the guitar. I just go onto it. I get a emotional vibe, and I just start playing with my hand, and the music just happens. That's how all the musics that you've been listening to, and all of them, it happens. I kind of connect to that through emotions, and even with my other stuff, like when I make music, guitar is more traditional. You have to use a chord or something. Excuse me. And on my GarageBand, I use GarageBand on my iPad more than my computer because it's more hands-on for me. So on GarageBand, they have these boards that you could interact with as well to make music instead of using actual keys. And I just do that the same thing. I make shapes. I click as if I'm actually typing something, more in a spiritual perspective, and the music just happens. And one of those examples is later on, man, after you come out of this, if you pull up a track I have, I think it's on YouTube as well. You should be able to look at it. It's called 1-1. And it's the same thing with that track too. I literally did my music on my GarageBand using those pads, and I was writing music. And you'll feel that as if someone is actually communicating with you. It's called 1-1. Or I think it's 1 and then the number 1. Yeah. Or you could, yeah. If you do that, you should be able to pull it up. That one, the first one, right there.
I write all my music on GarageBand too. So.
Yeah, for sure. That is actually an art that's also available for public. That one right there.
Okay, cool.
I really like that a lot, man. I really like that a lot.
Yeah,
And I like how it's like again, like it feels like a theme. It's like you're kind of like a vessel when you're creating this stuff. It's just like you just let whatever happen, you know. I really, again, I
Exactly.
really relate to that. I think that that's part of the blessing that we've been given is just this ability to kind of channel that energy. And then it's even more of a blessing when we can like share it with each other, kind of like what we're doing here, just creating these
Right.
spaces. So, um,
I like the music on that
yeah,
track. It
and
was a
we'll
little
get
happy
that.
beat.
I'll keep that link open, and we'll get that link down in the description. I'll have to do it after we're live.
No, no, it's all good, man. I just wanted to, that was like part of the way I actually make music. And if you could hear it in the back, I was just gonna, it's a 3 or 5 minute long track. I don't want you to play it right now, but I'd rather you listen it on the background on your own. And I recommend with everyone about it as well. Uh, but if you could listen, all it sounds like birds chirping and all this stuff. That's all me, man. Just messing around with the keyboard and just going on it, on this from a spiritual perspective. I'm just making flows and swirls and whatever, and the music is just happening live. I'm not like thinking or planning about it or whatever. And that's with all the music that you hear in any of my NFT arts. These two right here were one of the two of the first that I did, and then the foundation one, the one I did with Ashu, and Ashu told me, I don't know if you, by the way, none of you don't know, it's Ashwin Dodani. He's on Twitter as well, and we just sold our first collab. It's on Twitter Space right now
Oh
and
wait, I
on
think I have that right
OpenSea.
here, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, you
right there.
do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing piece, and I love it. And he told me the same thing. He said, "Dude, why do your sounds a little music?" And I said, "Dude, you got the nerve. You gave me like literally 3 freaking hours, man. I'm telling you. I was in the middle of my meetings and everything at work, and he was like, Vash, can you do this for me?" I said, "Yeah, man. When do you need it?" He said, like, now in the next few hours.
Yeah.
Dude. And then he told me, "Why does your music all sound the same?" I say, "Yeah, that's my theme. They're supposed to sound a little similar."
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
There's
it was a good
something
piece to work.
magical about life.
sorry. Let's listen to it.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
we
go ahead.
cannot define magic, we call it poetry. Why do we feel that moment that resonate the most with our hearts are poetic, more than miraculous or magical sometimes or mesmerizing sometimes? Because there's poetry in every breath. And what could we do more to feel ourselves at the most vulnerable moments than to call it poetic? This Poetry Day, believe in yourself. There's something magical about life. And sometimes, when we cannot define magic, we call it poetry. Why do we
I think it
feel
went through
that
once.
moment that
Yeah.
resonate the most with
Yeah.
our hearts
It's all good.
I
are
know, I
poetic,
know.
It's a
more
You
than
perfect
you
loop.
if
miraculous
you
or
thought you got
magical
lost on
sometimes or
that, when you
mesmerizing
play
sometimes?
when you play the other one from Ilyana, that's even an amazing piece. It took me a while, but if you go to OpenSea, you're gonna be able to play the whole thing,
And
and it's gonna
these are
sound
the
more
new ones
better.
you just released, right? Soon.
Right, this is the new
Okay.
one, and then I'll let you whenever we just let me know. I'll share the screen on that the third one that I'm planning to
Okay.
disclose at your show.
Cool.
This one, yeah, Ashu just confirmed today,
Oh,
earlier this
congrats.
morning, with a surprise. Yeah. Exactly, man. Thank you. That's actually what it means. What it means. One actually means one of one, being one and the same. So it's all of that, man. Yeah, it's a new collab, and I'll let you just listen to it first.
That's real tight. Yeah.
The wind strong, the rain,
Yeah,
the water heavy, the night dark, the wind strong, the rain fell more heavily. Another flash of lightning, thundering fears and despair, soaking my vision. Across the horizon, I see water rising and attacking the rocks, higher and higher against my hope, violent and prideful, shuddering my ground. I will be forgotten soon, reduced to a corpse, a lump of flesh looming out of the water as a failure. But as I sink deeper into the valley, a single breath sprang from darkness, bursting fireworks, a heavy light that clears my sight, warmth that gushes into my heart, a force that shook my doubts. I gaze you in surprise. Our eyes meet in the dark, and I hear a million words that you want to say to me. And as I stand alone, with you beside me, facing the ocean, watching a prelude to the worst of storms, I breathe the smell of freedom, growing nearer and nearer as you push me harder, choke me gently, to swallow back the excuses that rose to my lips. As I stand alone with you beside me, facing the ocean, watching a prelude to the worst of storms, you make me vow to the unknown, that I must find myself, that I must reach the end of myself, to bring treasures beyond measures to the shore. Not gold and diamond, but a proof of the human nature, of how far can we go, of how long can we endure, of how strong can we love, of how beautiful can we exist.
That was real tight, man.
yeah.
The water heavy,
I know.
So cool.
Yeah, I kind of brought out, and you'll see a lot of the collabs when I do. I kind of bring out the vibe of being myself as a Vesuvian, and I keep on telling people I'm just a Vesuvian like all of us. Basically, we're all related and connected. But try to bring that vibe in this, and the art and illustration, the animation, I did that using different softwares and layering and whatnot, and then use my own artistic view to create these arts. Um, and then
What
music. Go
animation
ahead.
softwares do you use actually?
I use different ones, man. I first hand draw some of them. Like these are hand drawn from me by me, and
Hmm.
then I use multiple ones actually: Motion Leap, Video Leap, and then InShot to do
Okay.
part of my work. I'm not good in Blender. It takes me a lot of time to do all this. Like this one probably took almost a day to
It,
complete with the
it looks
music
very
and the art.
intricate. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I feel comfortable with those apps and softwares. There's some there built-in layers that you can use,
Hmm.
but I still work on molding them in a way so that I can use them in my
Right.
own way. So I have to do that, to keep some uniqueness to it and some originality to it. There goes my accent. Good. But yeah, man.
Cool.
But
Cool. Yeah.
that's how this one came about, and this one is actually my first collaborative, our first collaborative drop in Ash. I'm slowly getting into the Ash community.
Cool.
It's a wonderful community, and they're opening up to the rest of the spaces as well. I had another one out recently. That's part of my thing called Vasuvian Games, where it's right now at 464 Ash. So it's like a play to earn. So you either pay for it or you go ahead and uh, pay the cash, or you go ahead and play the game to actually earn it for free.
Okay.
And it's gonna go on for a total of 11 days. That's why it's called the 11th hour. But yeah, I mean, this was one of them, and then I've got another one. I'll let show you guys in a bit, which is coming out in Foundation tomorrow.
I had one more question. Do
Uh,
you like? I know you had some on Foundation, some on Railable, and then some on OpenSea. Do you figure out a way how you like to distribute between those different types of marketplaces?
It depends. I mean, it's not like I'm planning to do, okay, I'm gonna do 10 in OpenSea today, another on Foundation the next time. It depends on the project, man. Like this one, we have the one I did with Eliana on that one. It
Mm,
has a whole bunch of, we're giving out a lot of unlockable content because OpenSea kind of compresses the video. You know, you have to do a lower quality. It's still high
right.
quality, so in the unlockable content, whoever gets it, they're gonna have a 4K 60 frame per second video, and we're giving away two. I created two, I think two at least, unique gifts that they can download and keep them for themselves. And there's some other stuff in there, like a poster art
Okay.
that you could print out and utilize. So that's why I decided that you cannot do all those in Foundation.
Right.
But for Foundation, the reason I did for this one that I'm going to be sharing in a minute is it's a small video with music on it, like about 30 seconds roughly. So I've been able to use 4K quality, and on top of that, you cannot use unlockable, in Foundation. So you just
Right.
got to go with one. So yeah, it
Okay.
depends on
Cool.
the project, man.
Cool.
Awesome. Hey, so before we do your reveal, I
Uh-huh.
actually I got to share screen again because I
Okay.
forgot about this one thing. Can you tell us about Candid Lollipops?
Yeah, I kind of opened up on this video. That's my second self-documentary. There's another one out there, Decades of Wonderful Experiences, but that one it was more like I don't know what's the right word. It's like a documentary based on videos that have already been out there. It's like a collage.
Okay.
This one I literally opened up. I wanted to talk about part of how I got into NFT space and the music, and uh, that was the last project that I actually took out of OpenSea because it had 111 NFTs in it,
Okay.
and so it's still out there. I just have to replan and reintroduce it later on, but it shows a journey of being an artist, not just me being an artist. I hope people can relate to it. It's about how we go through a lot of stuff to get to where we are. With all our real life experiences and spiritual and mental experiences, and how we keep on going and do the hard work that we put in. So I wanted to share that. Just a personal side of me. My dad actually said that it was boring. Go figure. He said it's just too much. Why are you talking too much? I said it's
Well, guess
supposed
what,
to be.
Dad?
I
It's
brought
not
you to
for
come.
you, okay? You already know these stories. You met me a
Yeah, you
long
have.
time
Oh,
ago,
Trust me,
but there's
man.
some people that
but I
haven't
love
met
it.
me, so.
Yeah. I'm like, I love him. He always supports me with all my stuff, even with the art. He was actually one of the first, even though no, you didn't know. So, yeah, looks very interesting with the way you're doing. I like the designs, and he was very supportive. He said, I know you're gonna go somewhere with this art because, but not with the music. He wasn't too much into the music because yeah, they still have that mindset that music is gonna take you into drugs and alcohol and you know club dancing and all
Oh,
those
yeah.
kinds of music videos out there.
Like,
So he's still not at the moment he saw that I'm into art. He said, "Yeah, go for it. No need to do music. Do this." So, but yeah, I love him, man. I love him.
That's awesome. So, can we show some people some new stuff? Where we've really
Yeah,
enjoyed having you on the show today, and it feels like maybe we wrap it up and
of course, man. Of
leave
course.
everyone with
So,
some words.
yeah,
Do,
yeah, yeah, sure.
do you need to share your screen? I can probably enable that if needed.
Yeah, if you would, I don't know.
I don't know if I've done that yet, but I wonder if I could. Well, probably have to
See.
do that.
I'm gonna take my headphone off because I don't think people are gonna be able to listen to the music if because I'm doing it from my iPad. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds totally different being on the noise canceling headphones.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's like the whole world just opened up.
Okay. You should be able to share, I think.
Okay, let me see.
Unless it's something you can just like, if you can send us a link real quick, like we can, or if you want to like send it, DM it
Let
to
me do
us.
that,
Or...
bro. Let's stop the screen share. Let me send you the video. How about that?
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Do you want to like DM me a link or email it to me?
Yeah, let me just do that. Hold on. What email do I send it to? Tell me.
It's just my first name, Moshe. I emailed you this morning this link that you can send it to the same one I sent this link to.
Mosh. It's not popping up. That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
Mos. Huh?
Moshe
Moshe.
at
Yeah.
ourband.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me send that real quick.
And that's for anybody that's listening that wants to come in and hang out. You can always email me at that same email. I'm always on there just as much as I'm on Twitter. But yeah, honestly, this has been, while he's sending it over, this has been so much fun. Karthik and I love being able to take time to talk to artists and be
Yeah.
inspired. Vasuvian, you have been, this has been amazing. Your art, your story. I just remembered that Fab asked a little bit ago on this chat is what Vasuvian means. Is it? I don't know if you can hear us right now, but
Can you?
yeah.
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah, I'm waiting on the video to upload. But you know what? I'm just gonna probably share the screen. At least they can see it. They'll experience the music when drop happens. How about that?
Yeah.
We'll do it in a minute. What was the question he asked?
He wanted to know what Vasuvian means.
Vasuvian means Vasuvian means us, all of us. Let me turn this on real quick. I need my silent moment.
Talking about stuff like that.
Please.
But yeah, man, Vasuvian means all of us. I was in a Discord the other day, and someone just asked me, laughing out loud about it, and says, "I'm just laughing at your name." I said, "Why?" I mean, they were friendly and everything. We were just, goofing around. Let's say that you got your name Vesuvian. Supposed to be Vesuvius from Mount Vesuvius and whatnot.
Okay.
I say, yeah, it sounds similar, but it ain't the same thing. But it has a similar meaning. Is because I feel like I'm from Vesuvia. I connect to the planet Vesuvia, and through my regression therapies, actually, as I learned that story I was telling to the kids was actually somehow true because it came through my regression that I came from. Actually, that was Vesuvian, and it was a purple planet. And the way the regression way, at least nowadays, I've asked she's a friend of mine now, about it. Like, I feel like I was awake. And she said, yeah, a lot of people nowadays were experiencing going through the regression shift happening. There's a lot more aware about what they're listening and hearing. And I said, okay. I took it with a grain of salt, whatever I was listening to, maybe true, maybe not. Some of the other stuff kind of jived with, but this one I already told my kids. And then when she asked me where you're from in some part of the story, the first word came out as Vesuvia. I said, wait, that's something I told my kids in the story. And it's a purple planet. So never heard about purple planets. And then lo and behold, a few days go by. Somehow I ran into this article, and you guys are more than free to check it out. This is true, Matt. Just Google it. Before that, I ran into this. This is how I get affirmations. Every now and then, I get clues from somewhere, from the universe, from God, whatever you want to take it as. There was a show that came out on Disney called Loki. I don't know how many of you know about this. One of the last episodes, they were in a planet or a place that was purple. It was a purple moon or a purple planet. It's like, what? And this was just literally, I think, a few days after I experienced my past life regression, or a few months or something. And I said, okay, that's interesting. A few days go by. I ran onto this article talking about, get this, purple planets are supposed to be the most habitable space for humans right now. I was like, what? Apparently, there are organisms in the air in purple planet that makes it more habitable for people. And I was like, this is interesting. I told her about it, and even she was shocked. Okay, and she said, now you know that it wasn't, you were not making this stuff up. I was like, okay. So ever since that, I started believing in it even more after all this stuff started coming out, because there's no such thing as coincidence, man. Everything
Right.
happens for a reason, and everything is related. So yeah, I mean that's where I came. I mean, because I literally came from Vesuvia. I draw my lineage from Vesuvia, but then again, through my story, somewhere in the future you guys will find out, because I literally, by now, I was talking to another friend of mine who, she's a writer. I'm working with her, and she's helping out with getting all the stories together and everything from the recordings. um, uh, there's already, by the last 2 years, I've already got freaking almost 6 to 7 hours of recording. I didn't even realize that I've been telling my kids story about. So throughout that story, there's a part that the information comes out that when Vesuvia was destroyed, it's kind of like a feeling about, I forgot the movie. There was a movie out recently where it's basically when it was destroyed, it scattered all over the universe and the multiverse, and so different. There was parts of Vesuvia that went and touched every being and everything out in the multiverse. So everyone is feeling it. And everyone was already connected, but when Vesuvia happened, it was considered a beacon of hope. And when it got destroyed the first time, it literally became a beacon of hope. And so it went out sending an alarm into the multiverse, and it became part of everyone. And that's why I always say I'm just a Vesuvian like all of us, because I believe in that story. And from a nutshell, when you look at life as a whole, as a being, whether you believe in that story or not, that's how we all are actually connected from a spiritual perspective. We all connect, we're all one. Whether you consider it as a human being or an energy being or a Vesuvian, that's what it is. So that's where the name came from, Vesuvian.
Badass,
That is
man.
amazing.
All right.
67 hours too. That is so
No,
cool. You're kind of inspiring
six
me.
6 to 7, man, but it's
Oh,
still a lot.
6 to 7. I thought you said
Yeah, that's what 67
67. I thought it
hours.
was
I'm
like,
like,
No,
you
that
gotta write
but
a movie, bro.
bro, that's yeah,
it's
exactly.
still a movie, man. It's still a movie. I mean, we're working. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And I'm praying to God. I'm planning to come up with a movie in the next 2 to 3 years. Already made some contacts about it. Trying to bring it out in the big screen, but we still got to work out because the story, the way it flows. I don't know how many of you seen. If any of you two saw the Foundation series on Apple TV. So it's kind of like that. In fact, a lot of the scenes that are in there that get this, a lot of those I experienced in my regression, even before knowing about the Foundation series. So I told my therapist about it, and she saw it and said, dude, it's like, this is coming out live. And your story's been told back in the 50s or 60s. I say, yeah, I didn't even know how it happened.
Wow.
But yeah, so my story, the of Vesuvius, kind of flows with it. It's not all about war and adrenaline rush and everything. There's a bit of both about that, and self awareness and awakening. So it's an interesting story. So we're working on it. We're gonna work on getting it molded and everything. So looking forward to it. But 6 to 7 hours, man, you can't fit it in one movie. So it's either gonna be something like Fast and Furious or Harry Potter,
Yeah,
or we're
let's
gonna come out
go,
with a
dude.
TV
Yeah,
Let's get it.
series.
Let's
series,
get it.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get a whole like franchise around Vesuvian. I'm in for that, dude. Well, I'll get the game and the video and everything. You know this. So
Yeah.
before we get
Let
out of
me.
here, did you want to show us
Uh,
this
yeah, yeah, yeah,
this piece?
yeah. Let me know if you can see the screen yet or not. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. Kartik, I'm gonna
Not
let
yet.
you drive a little. About to get loud in my house. Sorry.
All right, yeah, yeah. Let me. Yeah, now I can see the screen.
Okay.
And yeah, you're good
Okay,
to
let
go,
me go back.
man.
So I don't know. I'm not sure if you guys gonna be able to hear it. So, but
Yeah, I can hear it.
oh, okay, awesome. So yeah, and that's my
Real
kid
time,
having
man.
shower. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, man.
That's what's up, man.
And that's
Thanks, man.
coming out on
So
Foundation possibly today or tomorrow. Is that?
yes, because yeah, I mean, I'm planning to launch it on Foundation later tonight, after midnight or somewhere. But I'll just disclose it when it comes out. But yeah, man, and on your show, I'm gonna disclose another thing. I wasn't planning to do this. I was planning to probably put it aside because Foundation doesn't have any unlockable content. So this is what I'm doing. It's kind of like the riddle games I have on Vasuvian Games. If anyone can answer this through your show or on Twitter or whatever, they'll get a sneak peek. Actually, only one person will get to see the whole song because the song is more than 30 something seconds. So I'm gonna be sharing the link on 4K with the video, the whole title song. And the question is, name or state the 7 beings that are in this video or in this NFT art. So there's actually a total of 7 beings, not just one, not just two. You just have to state who they are, you think, and what they are. Uh, and it's probably going to be easy for people to find out 6, but there's one that's hidden out there. But yeah, man, if anyone gets that, they get to have a sneak peek on the 4K high definition video with the full song. I'm just going to open up with that to anyone, who can answer that question. I love riddles, so I got to do that.
Awesome. Well, we just put it in the chat, and then like we said, this video once it's like in our space, we'll definitely get that out too. That is so cool. Kartik and I are
Definitely,
gonna
man.
probably try to win that. We're gonna be like, I got it. Look back at it 18 times.
Yeah, man. Awesome, man. But it was nice coming to your space, man. I know it went up more than 20 minutes like you were planning. But it's all good, man. I appreciate being here as one of your guests.
Yeah, appreciate it, Vasuvian.
I feel you, man. I'm telling you, man. I realize what you're going through, man. I
Here,
got
I'll give
tears.
you a taste in the background. Hey man, we really appreciate you coming. Like your art is tight, your vibe is tight. Like and doing this with us, it means a lot to us. And yeah, I'm so sorry it's getting a little crazy over here,
No, don't
but
apologize,
hey,
man. I'm
before
gonna
we
say the same
go,
thing.
leave us with the pearl of wisdom. What can we take away? Like just drop a dime on us.
I'm just gonna code that code I was starting off. Now that I remember it, finally, everyone has to start somewhere, and experiences are part of an everlasting gain of understanding and betterment of that exist. That's it. That's all it is, man.
That's great, man. We appreciate you spending time with us, the positive messages, the cosmic unity, and we should collaborate on a piece together sometime soon,
Hey,
man.
yeah,
All of
we're
us.
all I'm looking forward to it, man. Let's go, man. I've been
Let's do
waiting,
it.
man.
All right, let's do this.
All right, Karthik. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, DJ. Really appreciate being here, man.
Yes, thank you so much for coming and hanging with us and everything that you're doing. Honestly, it's so awesome.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. Peace out to both of you, man. Uh, keep rocking, man. Keep striving with those kids.
Yes, peace and love to all. Peace and love to you and your family. Yeah, let's all keep doing this together.
I think my kids' energy just moved into your house, man. They're a little silent now.
right. Well, thank you guys so
All
much
right,
for
man.
hanging out with us. Don't forget, we're NFT
All
Art
right,
Talk.
thank
If
you.
you're hanging out still in the video, like and subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell so you know when we're live. Have kids because they're a joy. I'll leave you with that. And thank you so much, Vasuvian. And you guys, don't forget, all the links are down below. Everything that we've shown you on the screen pretty much today is down there. So make sure to like
Awesome, man.
and follow Vasuvian too, because we know he's out here.